game, it's Doug. The Cavs have shot the three ball as well as any team in the NBA in the playoffs, and that wouldn't be one of the great trademarks of your defense. How do you think you can get them slowed down out there?
Well, that's going to be the issue. Doug, they're such a great transition team. They're such a great penetrate pick and roll team that, you try to stop everything, you don't stop anything. And we've got to choose what we have to pick up poison. They have been shooting the ball very, very well. I know Atlanta tried to take away a lot. They switched a lot. They tried to take away a lot of the pick and roll stuff, but they ended up not taking away anything. And they're a lethal team right now. They can put a team on the floor 1 through 5 that can stretch you out and shoot the three with Shannon Fry and Love possibly at the 5. So they're very lethal, but our work is cut out for us to take out the three ball.
Dwane, it's Mike Andrews. You with the three ball, obviously you gave that up a little bit more during the season, and sort of willingly because you wanted to take the pace so much. But do you end up, is it a personnel decision or a personnel change that has to be made to accomplish that?
Well, yeah. Again, if we have Jonas and Bismack in there, it's very difficult to do to switch 1 through 5 and to make sure you consistently. We got away with it in the Miami series, but I think the difference, there's a huge difference in the three-point shooting of Cleveland and Miami. So, our goal our philosophy has been all year to take away the paint first and then get out to three-point shooters. We may have to adjust that, schematically, personnel-wise, could do that, Mike. But there's some things we've got to adjust to compensate for the three ball.
Coach, it's Jared Greenberg from Turner Sports. Is there a way that you could take advantage of Cleveland's 9 days off?
Well, I tell you, the one thing that like this time of the year, Jared, is you take rest over rust at any time in the playoffs, and so it's. My experience has been over the years that a couple of days off doesn't hurt you. I've never been with a team, I don't think, that's had 9 days off. So, hopefully they're a little rusty and game rusty, but again, sooner or later that rest is going to kick in and be a plus for them. And you'll always take the rest over the multiple days of playing. But again, the schedule is what it is. We got to go in. Our guns are blazing, playing hard, playing to our identity, and let the chips fall where they may. Again, nobody expected us to be here, Jared. We're playing against one of the best teams in the league. So we got to go in playing confident, playing hard, and playing to our identity.
Dwane, it's Eric Crane from the Guardian. Sorry, the noise in the background. I think the playoffs have sort of shown that there hasn't been much momentum from game to game, let alone series to series. But does the way you played yesterday, sort of thriving and not just surviving, can that carry over at all with the confidence of this group?
Well, we hope so, Eric. That's your hope. Every game, like you said, every game is different. It's a different theme. Every game, every series definitely has a different theme, different storyline, a different style of play, different adjustments you got to make. So within that, you hope you don't lose the momentum, the confidence, the rhythm, because believe me, Cleveland, they're going to work to take away some of the things that we did positively yesterday, and we're going to try to take away some of the things they're doing well. So, but we don't want to allow that to take away from our rhythm, our aggressiveness, our confidence as we go forward.
Dwane, Steve Simmons. I'm going to try and get this out. I don't have much of a voice. What did you take from the Dallas win years ago and apply to this series?
it's exactly what I said. Every series is different. I mean, you can go in, whether it's personnel. I remember when we were in the championship in Dallas, going through each series was totally different. We had a tough series against Portland that year. The next series we swept the Lakers. The next series in the conference finals we had OKC, and that was a nip and tuck one. But we had different players step up at different games. And some guys didn't even play in the previous series, stepped up. And that's how you have to, again, that one player, that key player could be the guy who could step up and make a difference. And he may have not even played in the last series. And so we may need that in this series at some point. And again, you have to go in and kind of get a feel for the first couple of games, and that will tell you, who that person may be. And you may have an idea going in, but you're not 100% sure until you go in and actually get it, delve into it.
Dwane, it's Michael Grange here.
Michael?
How you doing?
Doing fine, Mike. How you doing, buddy?
Good. What do you guys do about Tristan Thompson? And do you see some parallels between how the Cavs use Tristan and you guys have been relying on Biz?
No question. They're exactly like. They're the same, except I don't think Biz changed his left-hand free throw shooting. Tristan, I really admire that kid. I've known Tristan ever since he was a young kid. He came down to Dallas and played in the AAU tournament. And I coached the team, and he's a great young man who has really he's developed himself into a big-time player. And he brings the energy, the great offensive rebounding team because of Tristan. And he's going to be a handful for us. And he and Biz can look in the mirror and see themselves when they look into the mirror, because they're the same kind of player, same spirit, same ability as far as crashing the boards, effective rebounders on both ends of the floor. And Tristan has really, really made himself into a top-tier starting center in this league.
Dwane, it's Jared Greenberg again. Did you, when you signed DeMarre Carroll over the summer, did you envision him in a series like this? This is why you got him?
Well, we envisioned an entire year. Unfortunately, Jared, he hasn't had a chance to really, be with us the whole year. He's still, I don't know, he's still not totally 100%. And there's situations that we find ourselves in that he hasn't been in, that he's still, what play is that? What do I do here? Because, you catch yourself in those situations that, he may have not been there when we went through that, or doesn't remember. So he's still kind of feeling his way through as we go offensively, but his hustle, his hard play, his timely three-point shots are a big part of what we need, and the reason why we signed him. And he's exactly what we need at that position to guard some of the power threes that are in this league right now. And I thought yesterday was one of his better games defensively against Dwayne Wade, and he was kind of off on Wade and Joe Johnson, and so in this series he's going to have his hands full, and versus James, and also J.R. Smith and some other guys that they have. So, but again, we're happy we got DeMarre. He's exactly what we needed to play that defensive wing spot.
Hey, Dwane, it's Mike Matthew from ESPN.com. Just wondering to follow up on JV. Is there any timetable for him to return to basketball activity? How do you kind of weigh the future versus the necessity of needing your 7-foot guy who's been your best player in the playoffs so far? We're not going to jeopardize hurting his ankle just to get him out there for a game. If he's not 100%, we're not going to damage it. And again, I don't foresee him in these first couple of games. Being able to play next week may be another matter. I don't know. He hasn't started basketball activity yet. He's messed around and shot free throws and all that, but he hasn't done anything on the court. So he's a little ways away. from getting out there and contributing in the playoff game.
Hey, Dwane, it's Ian Harris from Associated Press. You've been pretty vocal in the last couple of days of the Miami series about motivation and your guys not needing any motivation. But is there any sense that a recalibration of that is necessary now that they've moved into the conference finals? What do you think about their approach to this moment?
To motivate them to play hard.
Yeah, and maybe just sort of guarding against any kind of complacency of reaching this level.
Believe me, I tell you what. I'm gonna say it again. If you have to motivate yourself to play hard at this time of year, we're in the wrong business. And if I have to motivate a player to play hard, either they got the wrong coach or the wrong player, because that's one thing that should be a given. Now, whether you make a shot or make a pass or get a stop, that's another thing. But if you have to be mentally motivated to get yourself ready to play against a great Cleveland team, one of the best teams going to go down, one of the top teams of all time, we're in the wrong business, and I don't foresee that. And, whether it's fatigue or whatever, I don't think it would be a lack of motivation. I feel like I know our team well enough to know they're going to go out and compete. Now, it's a difference in stopping a three-point shot and competing, but I think we'll be on the floor for loose ball, taking charges, getting back in transition, tomorrow night.
Dwane Casey from the Globe and Mail. Nobody's giving you guys a chance to win this series. Most people are saying you can be competitive at best. Do you give yourself a chance?
Well, yeah. Every time you walk on the floor, you've got to give yourself a chance. We're humble, but we're hungry. I do believe that our guys will play hard. Now, when we have a game like we had, Friday night or whatever it was in Miami, you betcha you're going to have a game like that. But I don't think it was lack of motivation and not being ready to play and not, lack of confidence. I think we're going confident. We're going and play hard to compete against one of my feeling is probably the best team in the league right now, as far as playing basketball, playing together, playing both ends of the floor, shooting the three ball. In my heart, I feel like LeBron James is the best player in the NBA right now, and they didn't ask me for my vote, so I didn't give it to him. But he does so many things for his team, offensively and defensively, that you can take all the other stuff to agree, but what he brings to the team, some of it you can't even quantify. So, so that should be enough challenge itself for us to be ready to go and play, compete. And I have no doubt that our team will go in and compete and play hard. And we're going to go in with the confidence and feel like we should win. And if we don't, again, we shouldn't be in this business.
Dwane, James Herbert, CBS Sports. You've talked in the past about how, LeBron can get going with the scoring, but you really don't want him to do that and be a facilitator at the same time. Is that even more important with how they've been rolling from the three-point line lately?
No question. What he brings to the table now is probably more lethal than his scoring, his post-up ability, his attacking ability. Because I've said this all along, and we were preparing for him when he was in Miami. His passing is probably his biggest weapon. Not only that, because he's such a smart player. He sees the floor. He finds those shooters, and they don't even have to move their hand. It's not like some of the passes that give you the pass at your ankle or over your head. You got to get in your shot pocket. He puts it right on your numbers, and you better have your hands ready or go through your chest. So, that's probably one of his biggest strengths is his passing. So, we have to pick up poison. Those are the things we're preparing for right now, and to what we want to try to take away and what we're going to live with, and something you're going to have to live with, and some things you're going to have to try to take away. So that's why they call it have a series. I'm sure there's going to be some games that we're not going to be successful. There's going to be some games where we're going to have some success accomplishing what we're going to try to accomplish on the defensive end.
Hey, Dwane, it's Ian Harrison question again. I wonder if you could just sort of comment on the abundance of talent at the point guard position that every team left in the playoffs brings to the table. So how impressive is that to see the talent at that position?
Well, it's very impressive. It's almost like the old days. Almost every night there was a great point guard to go against, back in the Kevin Johnson days, John Stockton, and Magic Johnson was still rolling at that time. And, there's so many great point guards, and now you have Kyle Lowry, Kyrie Irving, and Westbrook, and Steph Curry. You got some great point guards left in this league, and it's fun to see. I think it's great for the league to have guys like Kyle and Kyrie and Westbrook and those guys performing at such a high level. And because again, your team is as good as your point guard is, and not just scoring, but just the way he leads your team, the way he sets the tone defensively, the way he runs the show, offensively. So it's fun to see the way the game is being dictated by the great point guards that are left in the Final Four.
It's also being dictated by coaches who are largely point guards in their day. Does that kind of jump out to you as well, yourself, Billy Donovan, Tyronn Lue?
Right. I wasn't a great point guard in the NBA. I tried at Kentucky. I was a point guard, and again, it's probably the toughest position on the floor to play in. And just because of the fact that you have the ball, you're the extension of the coach, and I think that's the great relationship that Cal and I have developed over the years. Is he sees the play and we're thinking the same play before we even communicated to each other, and that's the sign of a connection between a coach and a player. And you're not always going to agree, but you trust your point guard, and because he controls the team out there on the court, and he's out there and he's going through it, and that's the trust you got to have in your point guard, and that's the trust you have, and also Corey.
Thanks, Dwane. It's Jason Lloyd again from the Akron Beacon Journal. Real quick, I don't know if you saw what Kyle said coming off the court yesterday. You said LeBron's the best player in the game a little bit ago, but Kyle said he thought LeBron was probably one of the best players besides Steph. That seems to have gained a little bit of traction here in Cleveland. I'm just wondering what you thought of that, and if you're afraid that kind of wrinkles his chain a little bit.
No. I tell you what, whoever's making a big deal out of that has nothing else to write about. They should be writing about the three-point shooting of Cleveland. Believe me, I think what Kyle was talking about, again, I'm not speaking for Kyle, you can ask him, but I read that as he was saying Steph got voted by whoever votes for the MVP. He got voted by them, and LeBron didn't, or whatever it is. But there's nothing but respect in our locker room and our organization for LeBron James, and anybody that thinks anything different or trying to make anything out of that, it has nothing else to write about or tweet about or whatever they're doing, because the respect that we have for him and the respect I know that I have for him and our staff has for him is unprecedented. So as we did for Dwayne Wade, as we did for Paul George, any stars in this league, you better have respect for him, and because LeBron James is, in my opinion, the most talented player, the most valuable player to his team.
Coach, Matt Tierney, Raptors.com. Sorry, real quickly, just going back to the part where you had said, nobody expected us to be here, and you kind of maintained all year long that for whatever reason the team kind of excels and plays better once they're doubted. Do you feel as though now entering against the number one seed in the Eastern Conference Finals, does that maybe translate into playing a little bit looser from your team and a little bit freer and easier?
Well, it should. It should, because nobody is going to favor us, going into this series, and everybody's not disrespected us, but not expected us to do as much all year long, and so in this series is not going to be any different. I don't know how Cleveland feels about us, but it's nobody's going to favor us to beat them. in this series. The only people who's going to believe in that is the people in our locker room and the guys on the floor. And so we've got to go in there together, and our backs will be against the wall Tuesday night, Thursday night in Cleveland.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it, and have a great day.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
The host left the meeting.